Hello students, welcome back to my channel again. Today I am going to discuss about the complex number, its modulus, amplitude and the polar form. So first of all, let me tell about the complex number. So what is called a complex number? A number is of the form, a number is of the form a plus ib, a plus ib, where a and b, a comma b belongs to R, I mean the real number, and I equal to root over minus 1. So this type of number, whenever it is a plus ib form, where a b belongs to R, that means the real number, and I equal to root over minus 1. I means this was first introduced by the mathematician Euler, which is read as iota. So I equal to root over minus 1. This type of all numbers are said to be a complex number. Is called a complex number. A complex number. It is generally denoted by Z. It is denoted by Z. That is Z equal to a plus ib. So this is the general representation of a complex number, z equal to a plus ib. Now you see, in this complex number z equal to a plus ib, there are two parts, a which is called the real part and b which is called the imaginary part. Student, you see, sometimes the real part may be 0. Whenever the real part is 0, here only z equal to ib, and that is called a pure complex number, which is generally written as REZ, means real z. So real z equal to a, and IMZ, which is called imaginary z equal to b. So now you see, in this complex number z equal to a plus ib, the real part may be sometimes 0. Whenever the real part is 0, I mean a equal to 0, here the number becomes z equal to only ib, which is called a pure complex number. At the same time, suppose b equal to 0, I mean the imaginary part equal to 0. If it is imaginary part equal to 0, the number becomes z equal to only a, which is called pure real. So this is called a complex number. Let me tell now about the modulus of a complex number. What is called modulus of a complex number, or sometimes it is called the absolute value of a complex number. For that one, let z equal to a plus ib. This is suppose a complex number, z equal to a plus ib. Now here this real part is a and b, there is the imaginary part. Let us draw x-axis and y-axis. You see, this is x-axis and y-axis. X O x dash, y O y dash. Here x-axis, this axis is considered as real axis, and y-axis, which is considered as imaginary axis. This type of plane, where it is real axis and imaginary axis are drawn, that plane is called the Argand plane. So this is called Argand plane. Now let us represent this complex number in this plane. To represent the complex number in the plane, you see the real part is a. So that's why this part must be expressed along real axis. So starting from O, which is called one, it is pole also. From O, suppose up to M point, this is the point M, and OM equal to say this is A, because this is the real part and real part is represented along real axis. Now imaginary part is B, and imaginary part must be expressed along imaginary axis. That's why starting from M again up to say this point P, here is the point P and this is suppose B. Then ultimately the coordinate of P, it will be A comma B, or P is called the geometrical representation of the complex number z equal to a plus ib. Let us join OP. Now you have here is a right angle triangle OPM. This is a right angle triangle. Now in this right angle triangle, if you apply the Pythagoras theorem, you see, by applying Pythagoras theorem, we have it is OP square equal to OM square plus PM square. this equal to a square plus b square, or simply OP equal to root over a square plus b square. And OP equal to root over a square plus b square. OP, you know, OP means the distance between O and P, or other way you can say the distance of the point P from the origin. So this gives us the modulus or absolute value of the complex number z equal to a plus ib. So this is then modulus of z is denoted by modulus z. This is the symbol for modulus z, and modulus z equal to root over a square plus b square. Now you see, actually what do you mean by modulus or absolute value of a complex number? It is the distance of the complex number from the origin. Since it denotes the distance of the complex number from the origin, that's why, you know, again the distance never be negative quantity, that's why the modulus or absolute value of a complex number is always positive. It is modulus of z equal to root over a square plus b square. Students, let me tell now about the amplitude or argument of a complex number. What do you mean by amplitude or argument of a complex number? Say z equal to a plus ib. This is the complex number, and for this complex number, if you represent this complex number in the argand plane, we have a point P, and joining OP, this line. Suppose OP line makes an angle theta with the positive direction of real axis. Now this angle is theta, say. Then this angle theta measured in anticlockwise direction is called amplitude or argument of the complex number z equal to a plus ib. So what is called amplitude or argument of a complex number? If the complex number makes an angle theta with the positive direction of real axis measured in anticlockwise direction, then that angle theta is called amplitude or argument of the complex number z. And simply it is written as ampz, or it is ARGZ. Now let us see for this complex number z equal to a plus ib, we have represented the complex number by the point P. Now you see, this is a right angle triangle OPM, where OM equal to A, it is the real part, and PM equal to B, that is the imaginary part. Now in this right angle triangle, if you take tan theta, you see tan theta means, you know, perpendicular by base. That's why it is PM divided by OM. And PM means this is B, and OM, that is A. So ultimately we have tan theta equal to B by A, or you can say B, that is the imaginary Z, divided by A means the real Z, REZ. This relation will give us the value of theta, which is called amplitude or argument of the complex number Z. So to calculate the amplitude of argument of a complex number, you can use the relation tan theta equal to B by A, where B is the imaginary part and A is the real part of the complex number. Let me discuss now how can you calculate the amplitude or argument of a complex number in case of numerical problems. So when you see, whenever you have to calculate the amplitude or argument of a complex number, first of all you have to study where the complex number is. Suppose z equal to a plus ib, this is the complex number. For this complex number, a is the real part and b is the imaginary part. Suppose imaginary z equal to 0. Say imaginary z equal to 0. I mean here it is z equal to only a. So we have in that case z equal to only a, which is the pure real. Now this real part may be positive or may be negative. If it is positive, then obviously the number must lie on the positive direction of real axis. And if it is lies on the positive direction of real axis, then its amplitude must be 0, because there is no angle made by the complex number with the positive direction of x-axis. As angle is theta here, theta equal to 0 here, that's why the amplitude must be equal to 0. Again, say z equal to minus a. I mean this number, it is negative. Suppose if the real part is negative, that number must be on the negative direction of real axis, and whenever the number lies on the negative direction of real axis, its amplitude is 180 degree or it is pi. By the same way, suppose now it is real z equal to 0. Real z equal to 0. If it is real z equal to 0, then the complex number is of the form z equal to ib. and if it is z equal to ib, again you see this imaginary part may be positive or it may be negative. If it is positive, then it must lie on the positive direction of imaginary axis, and if it is lies on the positive direction of imaginary axis, suppose here is the point, then the amplitude of that complex number must be 90 degree or it is pi by 2. Same way, suppose ib, I mean the number is, it is imaginary part is negative. If it is negative, then obviously it lies on the negative direction of imaginary axis. And if it is lies on the negative direction of imaginary axis, then its amplitude must be minus 90 or it is minus pi by 2. These are the rules to find out the amplitude or argument of a complex number whenever it lies on the positive real axis, negative real axis, positive imaginary axis, or it is an imaginary axis. Student, you see that number may be in the quadrant also. If it is in the first quadrant, I mean for this complex number z equal to a plus ib, suppose real part and imaginary part both are positive. If it is both are positive, then that number must lie on the first quadrant. If it lies on the first quadrant, then its amplitude must be in between 0 to pi by 2 or it is 0 to 90 degree. Same way, suppose here it is next real part is negative and imaginary part is positive. So real part is negative, imaginary part is positive, that's why the number must lie on the second quadrant. And if it lies on the second quadrant, then its amplitude must be in between 90 degree to 180 degree or it is pi by 2 to pi. Also, suppose for the complex number z equal to a plus ib, again the real part is positive and imaginary part is negative. Now real part is positive means along positive real axis you have to go, and imaginary part is negative, that means we have the number at the fourth quadrant. And if the number is at the fourth quadrant, then its amplitude must be in between 0 to minus 90 degree or it is 0 to minus pi by 2. And finally, whenever the number real and imaginary both the part, in the number real and imaginary both parts are negative. If both parts are negative, then obviously that type of number will lie in the third quadrant. Whenever it lies in the third quadrant, then its amplitude must be in between minus pi by 2 to minus pi or it is minus 90 degree to minus 180 degree. So these are the rules to calculate the amplitude or argument of a complex number wherever it lies on the first, second, third and fourth quadrant. That means according to a quadrant we can calculate the amplitude or argument of the complex number. Students, ultimately then all these discussions can be expressed like, simply you can express if it lies on the first quadrant, then the direct value of theta will give us the amplitude of the complex number. If it is lies on the second quadrant in between 90 to 180, that's why you can write 180 degree minus theta. This will give us the amplitude of the complex number. If it lies on the fourth quadrant, then minus theta will give us the amplitude of the complex number. And if it lies on the third quadrant, then this will be minus 180 plus theta. This will give us the amplitude or argument of the complex number. So for your better understanding, you can remember these four positions of the complex number. And in my next video, I told you, in the next video, I will discuss some numerical problems. How can you calculate the amplitude of a complex number in details? Let me tell about the polar form of a complex number. What is called polar form of a complex number? Suppose z equal to a plus ib. This is the complex number. And representing this complex number in the Argand plane, we have the point P, which denotes the position of the complex number z equal to a plus ib. So here it is OM equal to A, which is the real part, and PM equal to B, that is the imaginary part. Suppose theta be the amplitude of the complex number z equal to A plus ib. Now this is a triangle. In this right angle triangle, already I discussed the modulus of the complex number. Here it is z, modulus of z equal to root over a square plus b square. I mean in that right angle triangle, if you apply the Pythagoras theorem, we will get OP square equal to a square plus b square, or OP equal to root over a square plus b square, or simply OP root over a square plus b square equal to suppose r. Now you see, this is a right angle triangle. In this right angle triangle, let us take cos theta first. Cos theta equal to, cos theta equal to base by hypotenuse. So here it is OM divided by OP, or it is OM means A and OP means R. So this implies A equal to, taking cross multiplication, R cos theta. Again, sin theta, same triangle, you take just sin theta. Sin theta means perpendicular by hypotenuse. So PM divided by OP, or this equal to PM means B and OP means R. Again, taking cross multiplication, we have B equal to R sin theta. So we have the value for A and B, which is the real part. Real part is expressed as R cos theta. Imaginary part is expressed as R sin theta. So now replacing this value of A and B in the original number Z equal to A plus IB. Therefore, Z equal to A means we have R cos theta plus B, that is I R sin theta. Taking R common, it will be cos theta plus I sin theta, which is called the polar form of the complex number Z equal to A plus IB, because this number is expressed in the form of R comma theta. Actually, R comma theta. R means the modulus of the complex number and theta means the amplitude of the complex number. So here R cos theta plus I sin theta, this is called the polar form of the complex number. So we have come to know ultimately what is called polar form of a complex number. So students, you don't miss my next video. In the next video, I will discuss some practical problems. How can you calculate the amplitude and polar form of a complex number, as well as how can you calculate the modulus or absolute value of a complex number.